The first step you need to take if you want to learn product thinking and when you want to apply product thinking in a given scenario is to suspend the project thinking mindset. Now, I know this just seems, come on, this is obvious. There's nothing new here. But I'll tell you, this is where almost everybody fails. If you are a default project thinker, this is going to be the hardest step for you. And time and again, I see people who just cannot get themselves out of the project thinking mindset. Okay, so it seems obvious, but just because it is obvious doesn't mean it is easy. You will have to try hard yourself, and you will have to try hard with your team if you want to adopt more of the product thinking mindset. Second, you need to prioritize your real goals. And the way I like to do it is a framework I learned at Stripe is, what are you really trying to do? WAYRTTD. Keep asking yourself the question, what are you really trying to do? And another way to do it is ask why and so what. Keep asking why and so what to every sort of response that you generate. And be very intentional about the effects you want to create on your users. Again, we're going to talk about effects because that is so important. You need to obviously understand your users' needs. Again, it seems obvious, but the core things are many times people do not understand the objections that your users are likely to have. They just take a manual of an operating manual of, we'll build this feature so people will do more of this action. And they forget to ask about objections that the users are going to have. What is going on in the user's mind? So you really have to understand customer empathy, user empathy. Right? That is so important for you to really, truly, accurately understand what is going on through the user's mind and how can I address and preempt some of those objections and friction points. And also this last point about look for unexpressed needs. This is another thing that hinders sort of product thinking is oftentimes we are only looking for needs that are expressed. They're requirements, right? Like they are customer asks, and we're not looking for unexpressed needs. Right? So you do not need to look for unexpressed needs. That is super important as well. Then you generate options, right? And in this case, a project thinker needs to be aware that they should not be afraid of big ideas because project thinkers by default don't want to deal with big ideas because that means that they're going to have to contend with resources and timing and things that are out of their control, right? And also aim for creativity and differentiation. And then lastly, simulate. Simulate means you need to really visualize how each of these options will play out. And then you need to actually take those visualizations, discard the options where you think they're not going to play out well. And then you keep repeating until you coalesce a set of options that make sense, where your simulation suggests that the outcome is what you want, right? The outcome is what you defined in step 2, which is what are your real goals and are you meeting real needs?